Biden is ruthlessly imposing his agenda. You want to hear the perfect example of the way Biden is tossing his power around right now. There's a German family that is living in the United States that actually sought political asylum. We hear all the time about how the millions and millions of illegal aliens crossing our southern border, they're actually political asylum seekers. When they're not, they're mostly fighting age young men who are economic migrants who just want to make more money in the United States. Very, very few actual political asylum seekers relative to the number of illegals crossing the border. In this case, we have a German family that did in fact seek political asylum because they are Christians, they're evangelical Protestants who wanted to homeschool their kids, didn't want to send their kids to crazy German public schools that were going to indoctrinate them and fill their heads with all sorts of lies. So homeschooling is practically illegal in Germany, at least where they were. They come to the United States. They've been here for 15 years. They're here in my own state of Tennessee. With the government's blessing, they've flourished, they've done well. They're gainfully employed, they have lots of kids, they dress properly, they behave well, they're law-abiding. They did everything right. They didn't cross the border illegally. They're here with the government's blessing. And Joe Biden is saying they got to be deported. Joe Biden is saying they got to pack their bags, get out of here. Which means their kids are going to have to go back to those insane schools. The parents said that when they sent their kids to these public schools in Germany, their whole personalities changed. They suffered health issues while attending public school. And any ordinary American knows that that sort of thing happens because of the nonsense that is taught in schools and the deleterious effect that that nonsense has on kids. They got to pack up. If this family were Venezuelan rather than German, they would be allowed to stay. They would be called dreaming, future, bright-eyed, doe-eyed American dreamers. If this family were not a family, but just a pack of young fighting-age men from Honduras who crossed the border illegally, paid off the cartels, were involved in all sorts of crime, they'd be allowed to stay. They're just dreamers. They're just seeking a better life here. If this family were liberal rather than conservative, if this family were secular rather than evangelical, if this family were inclined to vote Democrat rather than Republican, they would be called a wonderful blessing of diversity to our nation, to show us the way toward progress, and they would be allowed to stay. But because they are German, evangelical, conservative, white family homeschoolers, they got to go. They're the enemy, according to the Biden administration. And the reason for this is that politics is not abstract. Right now, go to Genucel.com/Knowles. It is no secret that we here at the Daily Wire love the Genucel Dark Spot Corrector. Now, you might be asking what this product even does. Well, do you have sunspots, brown spots, discoloration, or dry skin? Pretty much everyone does. With the Genucel Dark Spot Corrector, you can watch those blemishes disappear in front of your very eyes. Kimberly from Youngstown, Ohio says, my skin has improved so much since using Genucel on my face. I love all my Genucel products, and my skin looks younger. Now it's your turn to feel like Kimberly, but this sale is ending very soon. Take advantage of Genucel's most popular package, which includes the Dark Spot Corrector, plus the classic Genucel bags and puffiness treatment, and immediate effects for almost 70% off. Genucel is so confident in their products that you can try them for yourself completely risk-free. If you don't see results in one day, you'll get your money back. Go to Genucel.com/Knowles. Start looking years, even decades younger tomorrow. Say hello to the best skin that you've ever had. Genucel.com/Knowles. Genucel.com/Knowles. There are some conservatives, some very naive, squishy conservatives, who believe that politics is totally abstract and it's just about principles floating in thin air, which is why the height of their political commentary and activism is to huff and puff and throw their hands up and say, imagine if the shoe were on the other foot. And to say, well, can you imagine if the roles were reversed? And to say, this is a double standard. That's all they do. I point out the hypocrisy when I can, but I also try to go a little further than that because the Democrats know that. They know that it's unfair. They know that they're playing with two standards here. They know, what the Democrats know that the conservatives need to figure out is that politics is not abstract. Politics is always about real particular people and real particular groups of people. German homeschooler, evangelical, conservative family, that's the enemy. They get deported. Venezuelan, economic migrant, don't speak a lick of English, don't know anything about our culture, easy to manipulate, easy to control, hooked on the welfare system, inclined to vote Democrat at least generations down the line. They're the friend of this administration and our broader liberal regime. That's how it works. Horn hat guy gets a private tour around the Capitol escorted by police officers. He's the enemy. He's an insurrectionist. He's doing a coup d'etat. He goes to prison for 41 months. Jamal Bowman pulls a fire alarm and, it would seem likely to me, intentionally obstructs an official congressional proceeding. Oh, he just didn't know. He can't read signs. You expect a member of Congress to know how to read? You expect a member of Congress to have the functional IQ of a fourth grader and to know what words mean in syntax, in order, when it says emergency exit only, push only if you want the alarm to ring? Oh, he couldn't know that. Or more likely, of course he did know that, and he just didn't think he'd get caught. Well, he's a friend. He doesn't even get a slap on the wrist. That's how it works. And as long as Democrats continue to acknowledge the particular character of politics, and conservatives just think it's all abstract principles floating in thin air, applying equally to everybody, we're going to continue to lose. We want principles, and the ultimate principle that we want is justice. But the way to get justice in politics is not to bury our heads in the sand and to pretend that politics is practiced other than as it is. It's to recognize that it is really about groups of people and teams and alliances. When AOC refuses to throw Bowman under the bus, even though we got him dead to rights, we got him on camera, it's clear as day, that guy did it. She doesn't throw him under the bus because they're on the same team. And in order to do anything in politics, you need to have teammates and alliances and compatriots, and you need to work together. That's what we're seeing here. So they're going to deport the German. And we're going to say, well, okay, but now you better deport all those economic migrants who are very likely to vote for Democrats and who aren't evangelical homeschoolers. Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. So what now? Every Republican should be pushing to allow this family to stay. This family is this is the exact type of family that should be granted asylum in the United States. Christians fleeing religious persecution in Europe, where we don't even take that many European immigrants anymore. The vast overwhelming majority of immigrants that we take in are from Latin America. So if you want any kind of fairness in our immigration system, surely you would say, okay, one of the underrepresented groups that don't really immigrate to the United States or are not really allowed in, well, maybe we should allow them in. Every Republican should be clamoring to let this family stay with political asylum. Boy, what a great clip that was. Now, make sure that you ring that bell. Subscribe to the Michael Knowles YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.